What's going on, guys? I got my T4E HDB68. This was a 7.5 joule version of this sort of shotgun air launcher, air-powered launcher, CO2 powered launcher. I put a 16 joule valve in here. There is no valve block and there is no restrictor. I made a video a while back, I think like 3 or 4 months ago at the time of this, and a viewer asked me if I could run this on a 700 psi tank output, 700 psi output tank, just to see if you can clear 16 shots out of this with a they wanted me to run a 4500 psi tank, but I do not have a 4500 carbon fiber tank in this size of cubic inches. I only have a 68 cubic inch carbon fiber tank, which will do 4500 psi capacity. But this is what majority of people are going to have, I would assume, because these are not that expensive compared to carbon fiber tanks, and this is pretty much maxed out at 3000 psi. I filled these maybe 2 weekends ago, and they've been chilling, but I need to shoot them because you don't want to leave these pressurized for extended periods of time, like longer than 2 or 3 months, because then you wear out seals, and it won't happen essentially every single time, but over time, if these stay pressurized for like 6 months or longer, you're going to get leaks and stuff. Fellow YouTuber touched on that a couple of days ago, Smoking Uncle Frank. So anyways, another guy has made a video, Corn Cob Express, and he has pretty good content with the pistol and salt supply and a couple other things to burn a CL. But he made a video. He has the air adapter on the back, and I believe he used an 800 psi output tank, and he saw what joules he got. I forgot what ammo he was using. I'm just going to use Alien Play, cheap aluminum stuff. But anyways, I'm going to shoot this, see how many shots I get, if I get through the whole 16 shots with this, and what power it's at. I got my chronograph, and then I'll, just for shits and giggles, this is at about 1100 psi output, maybe 1050 psi output. I'm going to get considerably less shots because it's the same capacity. It is just putting out 1100 or 1050 psi, and this is putting out about 700 psi. So I'm gonna quit yapping. I'm gonna put some oil in this, and like I said earlier, this is fully open, this is full power, so I'm expecting it to get 55 to 58 joules, 55 to 60 joules with this 700 psi output tank, and probably hitting like 65 to 70 or higher with this 1050 or 1100 psi output tank. But yeah, I'm gonna hook this up. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I pressurized the launcher. Have not shot it. It's fine, there's no leaking or anything. This did go down to 2600 or something, but all that pressure left the tank and went through this airline, and it's in here right now. So this has 16 Alien Play balls. They're 7.2 grams, the ones I have. 7.2 grams. A little bit small on the bore size, like 679 or 680. Anyways, I got my chronograph, I got my shoddy, and got my box. So I'm gonna do a couple shots. I got a flashlight to help with the lighting. So yeah, I got a really high budget operation here on the ranch with all this stuff. So this is the HDB. Obviously I put paint and stuff on mine, that's why it's black and red. And yeah, like I said, fully open. If you had a 7.5 joule valve and you pull the valve block out of it and you do not have a CO2 restrictor in the handle, it should essentially do the same thing that mine is doing right now. And I'll just show you the ammo right there. So there's 16, it's all the way filled up. I'm just gonna check my breech window, so it looks normal. And these Alien Plays, I've shot the crap out of them, so there are flat spots and stuff, but I honestly don't care. So first shot, 410. Second shot, 412. My follower spring thing fell off, like didn't fall off, but it got snagged right there. So all the rounds fell out. So I'm gonna pick all this stuff up. I'll be right back. All right, 410 and 412. I picked up all the rounds. This is the third shot. 410. 410. 414. 412. 410. 410. 406. 410. 404. I'm gonna check my ammo tube really quick. So I still have about 5 shots, it looks like. .406, 408, 402, 406, 404. I think that might be it for my magazine tube. So yeah, we're out. That was all 16 shots. I'll load up a couple more and see how many total I can get. Alright, I loaded 12 in the tube, so if this starts to drop, I'll pretty much cut it at that point. But so far we're at 16 shots and it's still hitting above 400. The max was 414 and the lowest I think was 402 or 404, which is fine. 406, 402, 410, 404, 386, so that's a pretty significant drop. 364, it's also lower, so I think that's it for the tank. 354, that's still high powered, but this tank is running out of pressure. 338, 326, 310, 300. Out of rounds. That one felt really weak. So 12 plus 3 is 12 plus 3 is 15, and then 16, which was originally loaded in here, and I did 3 dry fires. So you can definitely get 16 shots out of this thing with a 13 CI 3000 capacity tank, which is a pretty normal tank to use. And this is kind of like, the pressure output is pretty standard if you were just to buy one from like a paintball store or something, and it doesn't explicitly say that it's 900 psi or 1000 psi output or 1050 or 1100 psi output. If it's just a normal HPA tank from like a normal type of paintball facility or store, most of them are rated around 650 to 700. Sometimes they'll say 750. I'm just going to release the pressure with my slide check, and yeah, so you can definitely get, I'd say, at least 20 shots out of a normal 700 psi output tank such as this one, and that's just a normal 13 cubic inch aluminum tank. That's why it's 3000 psi capacity. So I'm gonna get my 1100 psi output tank. This is gonna hit a lot harder. The speeds are probably gonna be maybe around 480 or like 470 with those same ammos. So I'm gonna clean up my box, hook this up, and this tank is pretty much spent. It's like below 500, so Once they're this low, you can pretty much press it with your finger. Because if you try to do that when there's a lot of pressure in there, you're not going to be able to do this. You probably need a coin or something, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because you're trying to press the pin on, and it's putting out 700 psi, pounds per square inch. So yeah, let me clean out my box. I'll hook this up and I'll be right back. Alright you guys, I got the HDB on the 1100 output tank, and it's got 16 rounds of the alien plays in here. So it's fully loaded. I will check the follower spring guide thing just to make sure it doesn't pop all the balls out the tube. And got the chronograph, air lines hooked up, pressure's on. So yeah, 1100 psi, 13 cubic inch tank. So I think I'll be able to get like at least 12 shots, but I have no idea because I've never tried this before. 484. That's the same 7.2 gram ball. Just checking my tube guide thing is there, and it's there. It's not stuck. 482. 478. 476. 470. 474. 472. 470. 450. 438. So this is still hitting harder than the 700 psi output tank, but it is dropping. 416. Now it's about that same level as the 700 psi output tank, and I still have about 5 shots left. So it may get through one tube, possibly, but I don't know what it's going to do because I've never tried this before. 408. 386. 372. 360. And I think I got one more shot. Yeah, I got one more ball in here. 344. I'm gonna reload my tube. I'll be right back. All right, I put 14 of the balls in here. Same stuff, 7.2 gram alien play. Same CO2 tank that's severely depleted. 326. 312. 308. 288. 268. So now we're getting into like 20 joules kind of area. 244. 208, and I'll see if it even fires. 206. Didn't want to fire, so out of gas. I'll be right back. Right, you guys, the launcher is degassed. I removed all the rounds out of it. This is the 1100 psi output tank that I just shot right now. So this started at like 484 feet per second, and then by the end of the tube it was about 410 or so, if I remember correctly. This was like 414 feet per second to 410 to 402, I think, was the lowest it went on the first tube. So this was more consistent. Obviously it's a smaller capacity, so you can shoot through an entire 16 round tube on this at 700 psi output. You can also shoot through your 16 round tube capacity your ammo capacity. You can shoot through it with a 1100 psi tank, at least mine does, and you're gonna have some speed drop, but this thing at the end of the tube of hitting 16 shots, like I think on the 14th shot it was hitting that 410 kind of 414 feet per second range with these balls, and this was hitting 414 every single shot on 16 shots. I think after like the 4th tube of ammo with this one, sorry, not the 4th tube, after the 4th round, so after 20 shots, that's when this was actually going lower, like 380, 360, 350, 340, then down to, lower and lower and lower. But that's still gonna hurt really bad. 350 feet per second with one of these, I think it's still like 35 joules maybe. I forgot what exactly it is, but that's still not a pleasant feeling if you're getting hit by that. So if there's a random chance that you're defending yourself against one person, I'm pretty sure like 3 shots from this is gonna take them out, especially if they're just body shots. Headshot's probably fatal, no matter where that is, most likely not going to be good. But yeah, body shot, definitely, I'd say 2 to 3 body shots. A normal person that's not on drugs or something, or that doesn't have a lot of extra weight on them, or super thick clothing, or like a leather vest or something, it's gonna hurt. If they're just wearing normal t-shirt and like a sweatshirt, like a hoodie or something, that shit's gonna hurt really bad. With this it's gonna hurt way worse, because I think that's 480 feet per second with these. I think that's around 60 joules. I could be wrong, it could be higher, it could be lower, but I know that every time I shoot this, the way it is with like a normal pressure output tank, I'm getting at least 50 joules. So there could be like 53 on this constantly, and probably like 65 to 70 with this thing, or higher. I forgot exactly what the values are, but yeah, that's the test for tonight. Sorry about the 3-month hiatus on that one. I do so many other videos, I forget about some requests I get, but hopefully that answers your question. Like I said earlier, I do not have any 4500 psi capacity tanks, but if you did have one, I would assume, since it's about 50% more air capacity in one of these, I got through 16 rounds with a 700 psi output tank. I would assume that you'd be able to do probably 8 shots on your second reload, and they'll still be hitting about 410, just barely above 400 feet per second with these balls, whatever joule output that is. And then after the 24th shot, like on shot 25, 26, 27, your 4500 psi output tank would probably start to diminish. But if you had a 4500 psi output tank, you would easily get through a 16 round magazine or tube. You should be totally fine. And then yeah, these, if you want to power up the regulator to put up like 900 psi or 1000 or 1100 or whatever, you have to open this up and mess with some washers in there. And I don't have a compressor or anything to like refill these and try it again, but I just go to some local shops and refill these for cheap, or for free practically, because I have I just exchanged them. I live on a ranch, so I exchange fruit or something, lemons, avocados, oranges, or whatever, and they'll just be like, oh yeah dude, we'll give you air, like we'll take the fruit. So that's my deal I got going on. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Hope you learned how many shots you can get out of these. But yeah, totally check out Corncob Express's video. I'm pretty sure there's other people that have done this before. It's just there's so many videos now out with this, but sometimes they only use CO2 12 grams, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes, people do different tests differently, and yeah. So Corncob has the tank adapter out the back, so he can stick his tank like this and use it as like a stock. That piece, I think it's like $60 or $70. There's really no need for me to use it. I have so many other launchers. If I bought one of those pieces for every launcher I have, I'd spend $600 on little adapter things, which to me it's foolish, because I could just do this thing which not everyone likes, and obviously you need time to put it together. But you can also use an MCS tank adapter, which is what I was using to stick this line on, but you can also just run this through the bottom. So either way you want to do it, you can. I can use this on multiple different launchers that have, you know, CO2 thingy right here, but I cannot use that out the back adapter for all those other launchers because it's specifically made for this guy. So that's a give and take. If you want to spend couple $100 on adapters, it's totally up to you. If you just want to spend like $30 or $40 on one adapter that you can use on multiple different launchers, you know, that's the cheaper way to do it. So you guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.